saying anything or can I play something?
Go ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to Brady's Run Ice Arena, the second matchup of the Toledo Mobsters and the Iron City Forge set to take place here today. I'm Caden McCrory alongside me, Anthony DiFilippo. Welcome, the first broadcast for you here.
Yeah,
Remember
Kate,
the Iron City Forge.
excited to be here. Iron City Forge. I've been to one game earlier this season, so excited to take one in from the broadcast booth.
This one should be a lot more fun, a lot closer. Hopefully, they lost last night 8-1. So Iron City needing to come back strong here today. Playing with a heavy heart is Captain Kurt Schmidt. Lost his father yesterday before the game, so prayers up to him and his family. And I know he's playing for him today for this one.
Absolutely. Prayers up to Kurt Schmidt and his family.
Off the draw, Toledo tries to get one going early off the back of the post. Soltez keeps it out as Denman on the back door tries to sneak it through. Mobsters just 11 seconds in and will sneaking one in.
Yeah, it's been Toledo scoring a lot of goals against Iron City in their previous three matchups this season. Right off the draw, 10 seconds in, getting a good chance with Denman.
Off the face-off, Schmidt will win this one back. The Forge looking to clear. This one will go towards the benches and bake its way back to center. The Mobsters will reset. Trevor Pennell moves this one out wide to Caleb Williams. Forward for the captain, Taylor Raska. Looks to dangle into the zone. Schmidt takes it away, puts it towards the wall. Denman races him there, and the Mobsters play this one below the net. Mancini moves it up to Schmidt. Mobsters change the D behind the play. Works in their favor as Duncan will pick it off at center. Had one of the highlight reel goals yesterday, number 67 in purple and white. Almost had a couple, but the netminder Cody Silvas held strong yesterday, stopping 47-55, and now Soltez gets his turn in the crease against the Mobsters. As they whistle this one dead as a Mobster takes a tumble into the crease. Seems to be okay as they'll reset here at 1904.
Yeah, it was Reese Bomey just kind of crashing the net hard, trying to get an opportunity there. I'm now a minute into the game, and it's kind of been all Toledo so far.
Iron City has been a better second and third period team than a first period. The ideal situation is not let any in, but if there's a couple, you want to keep it to a bare minimum. Hans Watson will flip this one to center. Had his first game as a member of the Forge yesterday. Gone to a scrap in that far corner towards the netminder in period number 1 to open his Iron City career. Has been known as a scrapper, and a big reason why he got the ask to play for this Iron City team. Here's Reese Bomey collecting it, moves that off the boot of Benny Cunningham. And back to player of the Forge. Go D to D. Watson. Up the boards, wanting Knobloch. Goes all the way through to Keller. Keller with a break down the right wall. Drop past the Knobloch. Wanting to go up high to Cunningham and pick away by Duncan. Ricochets this one around the wall. Mobsters take it across center. It's Riker Kane. Crosses in. Goes to his off wing, puts one on, and a save made by Soltez. The Forge can clear to center. Justin Way goes D to D. Mobsters look to reset again. This one past everybody, and an icing on Toledo just shy of the 2-minute mark on here in period 1.
None of these saves for Danny Soltez have been easy so far at all. The big left pad save just a couple moments ago. It's already been tested a few times today. 5 shots on goal for Toledo.
Soltez, the second meeting between these two, had 60-plus saves in that contest. He's no stranger
No.
to seeing a lot of shots come his way. Tied up face-off. Dixon tries to dig it out. Goes in favor of Madrowski. Off the wall to J.J. Sartor. Had a goal in yesterday's contest. A lot of depth scoring for Toledo yesterday as not a singular player had more than one goal. Dixon plays this one back in for Iron City. Into the corner. Delosier puts it towards the net and a save there by Mahalik. And holds on. Gets his first shot opportunity. Doesn't get to play too often now as he is the GM of this team, the partial owner of this team, and now finally gets to get back in the lineup.
Right. It's good to see Iron City get some offensive zone time there on that last shift. I like to see them keep that up in the next couple shifts here.
We'll make one forward change as Gilbert Head Jr. makes his way on for one of his first games as a member of the Iron City Forge. Offsides Forge as Ford had a little trouble keeping that one in. This will go outside the zone here, 17-26. Dixon's going to step in here at a big weekend against Flint a couple weekends ago. Him and Denny Bolu, two of the hottest players on this Iron City squad. Bolu has goals in the last 2 games, points in his last 7. As he made sure to tell me last night, he said, "You picked the wrong stat for my goal." He said 3 goals in the last 2 games. How about 7-game point streak? And I said,
Right.
"You know what? You're right. You're right. My bad."
Yeah, it was good to get a goal there late against Toledo last night. An 8-1 loss that might not look good on the score sheet, but of course, Bolu extending that goal streak and that point streak. Good for him.
Benny Cunningham into the face-off circle, wins this one to Isaac Stevens. Collected his first career goal against Flint 2 weekends ago. This will be cleared by Toledo, and back is Corey Myers, one of the Swiss Army knives, can play both forward and D, as well as Anthony Mancini, who is his D partner today. Bouncing puck head, leaves it for Cunningham, sends it in, but meets Sefrin along the wall. His stick takes a trip to center ice. To the point, Myers looks for the deflection. Head almost gets there, but Mahalik covers up for the save.
Yeah, Mahalik had to make 24 saves yesterday after being relieved by Tristan Steele. Be nice to see if you get some more high danger chances, get some deflections like we saw right there.
I'm happy you found that number up because yes, that's something I'm like, I don't know the split between these two.
Right. I don't understand why the split happened, but it happened mid game. We'll see if it happens again today.
Mahalik, a Carolina Hurricanes draft pick, and he played in the Ontario Hockey League, mentioned a couple of times, been one of the best goaltenders in the APHL this season. There was a shot quickly thrown on. Mahalik will cover up to make that save.
Yeah, you can easily see why he's one of the better goalies in this league. He's positionally sound. He stays in that net well. Iron City's going to have to test him a little bit throughout this game.
The lone goal came against Tristan Steele, so Mahalik pitching a shutout through his last 2 contests against Iron City. The green pads, isn't it? I love it.
Right.
I remember one of the guys in the booth here, Mark Hollinger, said it kind of reminds me of Flurry with Minnesota with the
Yeah, a
colored
little bit.
pads.
A little bit. Love the color on those pads from Mahalik. Certainly flashes him out when he makes some of those pad saves.
The question is, you kind of mentioned it earlier. Do you wonder if they split again today?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Steele was the guy who was a little bit busier in net, faced 32 shots throughout the last half of that game or whatever he played. It'll be interesting to see.
Winding up, here's a shot. Is thrown on there by Watson, stopped by Mahalik. Forge leading in the shot categories early, up by 165 through 4 minutes of play. Here's Williams, one of the stars of the Mobsters, leaves us off for Raska. Raska gets pinned along that wall, sends it down low to Denman. Denman fighting away with Watson, plays underneath the Williams. Up high to Brown. Brown waits for the shot, deflected, front rebound is there. It's pushed off the side of that and eventually put through. Taylor Raska gets the opening score here for Toledo. It's 1-0.
Yeah, that's kind of what I talked about at the other end for Iron City, getting some of those deflections in front of the net, and Soltez had a tough time finding that one. It snuck past him, and Rasco was able to bank it in for the goal.
Raska, his 15th of the season. Just been an insane number to put up here for Toledo. Almost averaging a goal per game at this point.
Yeah, it's been good going for Raska and Toledo so far. An 8-1 win last night. Good to get one on the board here, 4 minutes in.
Off the draw is won by Toledo. As they'll play this one back, as the assist will go to Austin Smith and Caleb Williams on the back end of that one. Of course, Toledo last night putting up an 8 spot. They had a special moment at the end of that game as well, as one of their forwards a couple weeks ago, Johnny Bonta, suddenly passed away, and they all took a picture in front of the neck with the 8 on the scoreboard with the 3 fingers up in honor of him. It was just a really special
That's awesome.
moment.
Some of those moments you love to see from hockey.
They had the special 8-second runoff of the clock to start yesterday's game, as well as only starting the game with 4 players, having him be the right winger. As he was on that line with Williams and Raska, and those 3 together might have been the most dominant line when I saw them play in Toledo in November. It was just a special, special group of guys. And they're playing with the heavy hearts and are playing strong here in this weekend against Iron City. Here's Hightower walking in, tries to go short side, and a save there by Soltes. Off the back of the net, looks for the chance in front. Soltes paddles that away. Stays in as Ossenmacher played a little baseball in front of that net, almost knocks it through. To the point, Keller applies the pressure. Pennell can keep it in. And now Zemansky for Iron City will hold. He's had 2 fights throughout his APHL career. Both have come against Toledo. As they had some words from him yesterday, his equipment kind of took a trip into the stands. I'm sure that's going to boil over in some capacity.
Oh yeah, it'll definitely boil over. 3 total scraps yesterday. Expect to see some chippiness throughout this game.
There's a quick shot there thrown on net by Hunter Knobloch. It rolls towards Dixon, and out of the zone it goes. Michael leaves it for Mancini. Mihalik will come out to play it. Leaves it off for Trevor Pennell. He opened the scoring yesterday, moves it up for Madrowski. Up to Kane. Kane walks in shot, shoulder save Soltes. Second attempt also denied, wraparound, Soltes there once more. Corey Myers flips this one toward the Forge bench, up for Danny Michael. To center, Mancini tries to walk his way through, and Smith strips away. Back to Pennell. Toledo changing. Fresh forward group on. Smith. It's collapsed by 3 Forge players. Delosier attempts to clear, bounces to Myers. Ahead of his stick, and the Mobsters will settle. Smith, across the blue line, plays this one out wide. Looking for someone in the middle, no one home. Delosier can clear this one to the blue line, but kept alive by Pennell. Pennell walking in, dangles towards the net, puts one high. Denny Bolu kicks this one free. Pennell once again, he's all over the ice. And finally, the Forge can get it beyond their own blue line. Back to Seferin. To Pennell once more. As he'll finally head off to the bench for a change. Full top line out for Coach Weimersker, who took over the coaching duties in December. As Haley will flip this in off of the captain Schmidt and into the stands it'll go.
Yeah, it was a previous good shift for the defenseman Pennell for Toledo. Getting a couple key keeps over there on the left side of the blue line, far side. It's been real good for Toledo this season, like you mentioned.
Coulter against Williams. Coulter, one of the better centers in the APHL, wins that one. There was a stretch yesterday where Coulter and a couple other Forge centers went 8 for 8 in offensive zone draws to start the second period. It was just insane. And somehow Mihalik kept them all out. It was constant shot off the draw, shot off the draw. And Toledo, you thought we're going to let it up. And then there we go. Jay Denman sneaks one through Soltes. His 6th of the year makes it 2-0 Mobsters.
I was about to mention, since Toledo started the game 5-0 in shots, it had kind of been a little bit tilted towards the Forge since, but that's all it'll take is just one shot through some traffic, and Soltes really isn't able to find it, and it's another goal for Toledo.
Denman's 2nd of the weekend, had a power play goal in the 3rd period last night, and that line continues to stay hot. Raska and Haley on the back end of that one. And 2-0 Toledo early.
Raska loves playing these Forge. 5 goals in a game earlier this season.
That was another insane game. Raska was one of a kind player. This will go off the high glass. Back is Tom Ford to settle. Moves this up, wanting Knobloch. And Raska back defensively to hold on to this one. Turns it over to Benny Cunningham. Cunningham walks this back to Zemansky. Sends it up off the stick of Keller into the zone. It goes. Mihalik, very active goaltender, comes out to play it. Off the stick of Raska. Ford momentarily keeps it out. Now Raska on the entry. Wants to dangle. Ford takes it away. Off the boot of a Mobster. Offsides as Bomi was just kind of chilling in that corner over there. And it was like, oh crap, I got to get back.
Yeah, I don't think the entering forward saw Bomi really on that near side here. He was trying to enter the zone with some speed, but Bomi a little late getting back.
Cunningham against Hightower. Be won there by Hightower. Mobsters collected center. Teeter over to Justin Way. Tapped forward for Ossenmacher. Ossenmacher shoveled to Hightower in front. Wanted Bomi. Was a little bit back behind the play. In his 2nd game with the Mobsters. Had a couple assists last night. Still probably won that first career goal in the APHL. Teeter winds up. That one rolls off the blocker of Soltes. Way takes one from down deep. Soltes makes the stop. Getting absolutely peppered here in this first half of the first period. Teeter winds up. Blocked by Mancini. Rolls to Hightower. Back to the point to Way. Way hold it. Off the boot of Hightower. The Sewers still keep it in there for Toledo. Bomi walks the blue line, sends it into the corner. Mancini crowds for the Forge, banks it off the wall, and they can finally get this one to center. Knobloch strips Bomi into zone. He comes, elects the shot off the shoulder of Mahalik into the netting, out of play.
Yeah, it was like a 2 minute stretch there that Toledo just had shot after shot after shot after keep, and then the Forge come back the other way, get a good chance on Mahalik, and he's able to make a good save with the blocker.
The shot's 13-8 in Toledo. I feel like that number 13 is a little misleading right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, absolutely. Shot attempts are a lot higher than that.
Iron City trying to get theirs up with an ozone draw. Behind that, Delosier wants to go in front, taken away by Madrowski, and out of the zone they roll. Kane works his way in, puts one on. Soltesz makes the initial stop, rolls behind the net, and Dan Schmidt will pin and go that one along the wall for Delosier as he gets pummeled down in the far corner. Dixon goes right after the man that took his owner GM down, and Soltesz will cover up.
Just more offensive zone pressure for Toledo here.
The best part of standing here is you could hear both benches. You just heard the Toledo bench. JJ Sartor, the one late hit. Way to be 7, way to get there 7. Coulter flicks this one off the boards. Up comes Gil Head, and we quickly thrown in by the Mobsters. This one will be sent out by the Forge Pennell. Beyond center, plays it forward for Kane. Through the middle to Smith. Up for Madrowski. Madrowski walks in, shot, tries to go upstairs. Soltesz makes the save, rebound pops out. Sartor couldn't settle. Coulter clears this to center. Smith retreats back for Pennell. Pennell gets across Coulter. Works his way to the outside. Very shifty in space. His 34 in purple and white will turn it over, though. Schmidt. The give and go. Here with Watson. Tries to hit Gilbert Head in stride. Icing called on the Forge.
Yeah, this is what Toledo's kind of forcing the Forge into. They're kind of forcing those stretch passes and forcing those kind of riskier passes that leads to icings and another offensive zone face-off for Toledo.
Gilbert Head Jr., Canadian nationality and American, so dual citizen. Can play wherever he wants, pretty much. Has residency in Minnesota as well as Canada. Kind of an interesting ad here for the Forge here playing this first couple of games. Any welcome body for Iron City here is trying to get something going offensively, and good to see him back in the lineup. Moves this up for Keller. Does Head Jr. Keller walks in a shot, and Mahalik will cover up. One thing I noticed yesterday, his rebound control is incredible.
Yeah, they had Schmidt standing right there in front of the net. If there were to be any rebound there, but he was able to gobble it up with that glove. Fantastic rebound control, like you said.
Schmidt, Cunningham, Keller, unit they used a lot yesterday, was back together again here for this offensive faceoff. Schmidt tries to go back. Mobsters tie him up, and out around the corner they come. Brody Duncan carries this one along the wall as a good stick from Mancini springs Keller free. Michael Keller tries to dangle into the zone and shut off by Brown. To center, this will go all the way down. No icing. Myers back for Iron City. 8 minutes to go here in period 1. Myers works to the outside across center. It's hit hard along the penalty box door by Raska. Keller, that's his own blue line, taps this in, turns it over. Williams with some speed. With the Forge defense changing, Williams a shot, pad save by Soltesz. Rebound there, Denman comes out, elects the shot, blocked by Mancini, and now Schmidt can carry. Cross center he goes, backhands this one in, and to the bench the Forge forwards will go. Up ice Duncan, fakes the pass, gets it to center, dumps it into the zone, where Daniel Schmidt sends it up ice to Hunter Knobloch. Through the middle to Dixon. Spins, turns it over. It's along the wall, Denman corrals, tries to go in open space, turns over to Bolu, tries to go out wide to Knobloch. Still battling for it, and the Monsters finally take possession. Duncan Top ice for Williams. Sends this one off the Forge bench. Bolu recollects. Back for Dan Schmidt. Over to Tom Ford. Looking up to Bolu. Cross ice for Knobloch. That'll go into the stands. Is ducking right out of the way. There were a couple of fans. And they'll get a souvenir out of it.
Yeah, the lack of netting around this arena kind of allows some of those pucks to go out and get those souvenirs for the fans, but means you also got to be careful if you're standing out there.
A very low glass, so pucks tend to go out that way. And coincidentally, we had a puck sponsor be announced as the puck went right. Just some good timing. Like, oh, here's the puck sponsor. Oh, it says it right there. There we go. Look at that. And that one will be tipped into the penalty box. Another quick whistle. At least that puck will be retrievable.
Yeah, no souvenir on that side.
Unless the penalty box keeper wants to keep that for himself.
Yeah, right.
They'll take this one to center ice. Coulter and Hightower. Two guys who've seen a lot of each other in the face-off over this past weekend. As the referees, I think, are waiting for a puck here.
Yeah, they're waiting to get a puck out there.
It's just I think the clock are trying to reset. So they add 5 seconds back on. So it'll be 6:27 to the 6:22. Michael sends it into the zone. Mahala comes out to play it with the pressure in Coulter. Is behind that for Justin Way. Sends it up to Hightower. Hightower with speed. Goes down the left wall. Spins. Takes it to the top of the circle. Now to the blue line. Back to Teeter. Winds up a shot. Danny Michael gets down for the block, and he's in some pain. We'll head off to the bench. Way. Cross ice to Ostenmacher. Puts it toward the middle. Wanted to bow me. And the stick lifted. Here come the Forge Keller. Up for Zemansky. Zemansky to the outside. Puts one on net. Mahalik with the save. Zemansky got the first ever goal in Forge history, and it came against the Mobsters, as well as the first fight in franchise history. 2 for 2 in that category in the win column for 27. You just look at him. I think you can understand why. He is a large fella to go up against. I know I'd suggest.
Oh, absolutely not. No.
This one goes through Schmidt. Mahal, look at this, coming all the way up to the hash to try to play that.
Yeah, he certainly has some confidence stopping all 24 shots yesterday, like we already mentioned, and now coming all the way out to the hash marks to handle the puck.
It's okay to be an aggressive goaltender sometimes, as long as you can back it up. Offsides here on Iron City as Schmidt and Keller, just a little bit of a miscue trying to get back to the line.
Yeah, 6-2 run in shots for Toledo. Kind of tilted the ice back after Iron City had a couple chances of their own. Now Iron City trying to get back with their line led by their captain.
Tied up face-off. Cunningham digging, and it goes out to J.J. Sartor. Gets around Ford. Ford takes it into the corner. Sartor in front from Madrowski, and Ford knocks that one away. Through the middle, a bouncing puck. Soltez slides across, gets a piece of it. Ford got into an altercation last night. Laid a nice open ice check, and the Mobsters came right after him, and he held his own. He's not one to get too physical, but I'll give him the credit. Coming off an injury as well. Good to see Tom Ford up for the challenge as that shot from Schmidt goes into the netting out of play.
Yeah, that's another thing Toledo's doing is the defensemen are getting sticks in the way. You know, Pennell right there. Already talked about him being a good offensive defenseman. Had a couple keeps several shifts ago, but good to get a stick on that.
One lineup change for Toledo. Adam Radar out, Matt Omenchensky in, as he'll take his first shift of the game here with that fourth line. Here's a shot from the point from Watson that goes high over the net. Denny Bolu puts one off the side of the net. Mobsters collect it and work their way up the ice. Goes through Dickerson, trying to get to Seferin. And the Forge play it out just beyond their own blue line. Mobsters on sides can re-enter. Brown sends it into the zone. Watson there for Iron City, over to Dan Schmidt. Dan Schmidt, a big following from his friends and family all across the United States. Born in New York, lives in Tennessee, also lives in Pennsylvania. There is a lot of family and friends that are watching Dan Schmidt probably the last couple of weekends since he's joined the team. Here's Dixon, walks his way in, puts it on net. Rebound for Bolu, saves second chance. Hunter Knobloch cleans it up and puts it in. The point streak for Bolu continues, and it's 2-1 Forge.
Point streak for Bolu continues, and the save streak for Mahalik ends against Iron City. We mentioned stopped all 24 shots yesterday and a real good chance. That's what you need. You need those high danger chances. You need those rebounds, and was able to get one past Mahalik on the third attempt. Finally.
Knobloch, his fourth of the year from Bolu and Dixon. And the Forge taking some life in the later stage of this first. Knobloch trying to stay hot, sends this one towards the Mobsters' defensive end. Back is Toledo through the middle of the ice out to Denman. Wanted to go to Williams. Mancini there to take it away. The Forge always play off of score a goal, we're going to continue. Sadly, it always comes at the end of a period. So they have to go to the dressing room a little cold, and then Toledo usually can come out and try to do something with it. Something hopefully they could change throughout the rest of this game. Second attempt, and Raska goes right underneath Soltez, his second of the game, and they get it right back. It's 3-1.
Yeah. If you need a jump, if you're Toledo, come out with that Taylor Raska line, especially against a team like Iron City. He plays so well against and able to get his own rebound. Nothing really Soltez could do there. A lot of open space for Raska to put one in second of the game.
16th of the season. Didn't have a goal last night. Had an apple and a fight. You put that all together, that's a Gordie Howe hat trick.
Yeah, Gordie Howe hat trick for the weekend.
I'm sure he'll take that one to the ride back to Toledo after this. Be like, yeah, I got a Gordie Howe. Don't ask me how many games, but I got it. But 3-1 Toledo, and was the 1-goal game. Is still in reach for Iron City here in the last 3 minutes of this one. Here's Zemansky. Takes this across center. Gets pummeled down by Teeter. We talked about the target on his back, and Teeter makes him pay in open space. Here's Williams. Walks it in. That one rolls off the back of the wall. At the point, Bomi sends it in. Myers there for Iron City. Takes this behind the net. 4 forward. Bounces towards Delosier, and out of the zone it goes. Coulter negates the hit from Bomi. Here's Pennell. Sends it up for Ossenmacher. Up the high tower. That shot rolls on. Soltez save. Rebound there. Soltez covers up on Bomi with a couple of good chances in front.
Now the shots for the period are all the way up to 23-10 and plenty more shot attempts for Toledo. So Soltez has had to hold his own, and he's done well so far.
Raska's 16th of the year, second of the night from Williams and Way. The official reading of goal number 3 for Toledo. Yeah. Kept alive the point by Pennell. Schmidt knocks it down, carries to center, sends it in. Out comes Mahalik to play it. Mahalik sends it all the way into the stands. Just tried to go off the top of the glass, and that one went off the top of the glass and then into the seats. And then one of the officers will negate the souvenir and send it in.
It's one of those times where, you as a former NHL prospect played in some of those higher leagues where maybe that glass would have been a little bit higher and he would have been able to roam around and stay and play, but they're just shot it a little bit too high.
So I think there's going to be a delay of game penalty on Toledo.
Yeah, I guess it never nicked the glass there, so it went straight out of play, delay game. Seems like the call.
I don't know. I thought that hit the glass. Maybe. I think
it was a tough angle.
Yeah.
Maybe it hit the wall out of bounds over there.
So Mahalik delay a game will be served by someone from the Mobsters bench. And it'll be a power play, just one more sports bar and grill power play at that for the Iron City Forge. Make sure to tune in after the game at Just One More Sports and Grill for the Super Bowl. They'll have some good deals on alcohol and food for you guys if you'd like to go there here in Beaver, Pennsylvania. Thank you to Just One More Sports Bar and Grill.
That'll be a good day watching some Iron City Forge hockey. Then I want to watch the Super Bowl.
Makes a nice little sports day for everybody across the United States, depending what hockey team you're watching before this. And the ones here, thank you for joining us before your Super Bowl activities. And the power play begun for the Forge. Here's Kurt Schmidt. Battles against Pennell. Onside there is the Forge and cleared out by Toledo. Hightower goes in, tries to dangle around Watson, and stripped away by Mancini. Back for Benny Cunningham. For Watson. Up for Zemansky. Out to Cunningham. Cunningham works his way into the zone. Over for Schmidt. A minute to go in the period. About a minute 15 on the power play. Could be some carryover time if the Forge do not capitalize. Over for Mancini. Chips this one off the wall. Ostenmacher clears that one. Forge recollects. Schmidt. Offsides Iron City. Goes towards Ostenmacher one-on-one. Ostenmacher works his way in. Nice work from Watson to push it to the outside. 35 seconds to go in the period. Schmidt gets around Sardo. Works to the point. Wanted Myers. That goes through him. Ostenmacher on his horse. Myers will get back. As Duncan goes over to him. His shot and a save by Soltes. He'll come out to play it quickly up to Schmidt. Schmidt out to Zemansky. 10 seconds to go in the period. He lines up Sartor on the reverse check. Toledo can clear, and that seemingly will do it for period number 1, as Bolu will have to hold on and let the clock hit to all zeros. 12 seconds of power play time for the Forge as they head to the dressing room. They get a goal from Hunter Knoblauch, but Toledo, 2 from their captain Raska and 1 from Jay Denman puts them on top.
Yeah, that was a good penalty kill from Toledo. Austin Walker on the forward side, the two forwards and the 2D kind of combined for a good effort there. And the Iron City Forge, they had a stretch of good play there. They had the goal, and they're going to have to come back out here for the second period and try to put a couple in.
So we have a little bit of an intermission surprise for everybody here. So WTAE sports anchor and director Andrew Stock is going to join us here.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear from Andrew, and it's glad to see him here. Glad to see him get the ceremonial puck drop.
So we'll pan our camera over and
That's the TV thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
our little camera's right there,
Okay.
and we'll just pass along questions. Anthony, you want to start first?
Yeah, Andrew, just being here, Iron City, how did you kind of get involved with the Forge, and how did you hear about them in the first place?
Well, the goaltender's father, obviously, Brian Baylor works for the team and does a lot of things around here to get the ready for the game. He invited me to come out and skate with the team one time. I just picked up hockey 3 or 4 years ago, so I had a chance to practice with them a few months ago, and that was my first involvement in learning about the team. And great group of young men, a lot of fun, and just had a great time. So I become a fan.
The first period, obviously, the Forge down 3-1, but what are your thoughts of just the APHL hockey as a whole? You said you were here for the practice, you got to skate with the
Yeah.
guys. You said you were very tired after. We said we need an extra 4 days. You're like, oh, I'll pass today, though. But just your thoughts on the first period so far.
Well, I'll tell you, right now the other team is obviously getting some shots on goal. I mean, the Forge has got to get the puck, excuse me, out of their end. They've got to try and generate some offense. A lot of what they have right now is breakaways, not sustained pressure.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of those things. If you're able to sustain some pressure, eventually the goalie's going to crack. And that's why shots are 24-10 right now. They're not getting the puck on the net. Doesn't mean they can't do that, but that has to be your strategy. Get the puck out of your zone, get in the other end, and sustain pressure. And hopefully you'll get some goals.
Well, as Caden alluded to in his last question, you're a hockey player yourself. Talk a little bit about that, your experience there.
Well, I don't know if I'm a hockey player. I picked it up about 4 years ago. I've always skated. I grew up in Connecticut. My team was the Hartford Whalers, who don't exist anymore. And I've always enjoyed the sport. In fact, I even did play-by-play hockey in college. Coming here, covering the Penguins, do all those Stanley Cups, has been an awful lot of fun. But to play the sport, you really see it differently. I mean, now I don't watch the puck. I'm watching, okay, where's the puck going to be? I really see the game differently. You're able to ask different questions. You're able to really connect with members of the Penguins and the Penguin organization because you play and you get to some degree what they're going through. So for me, that's been the most fun, being able to join this whole fraternity of hockey players. I'm not great, not even average, but I think it's if you play, you get it. And that's why I really enjoy it.
You've had an illustrious career so far, Andrew. Looking back on all of it, what has been your favorite moment as just a member of the sports media with the Cups, the Super Bowls? What would you say has been your favorite so far?
That's a really easy question to answer. The 2013 wild card game at PNC Park. I grew up as a baseball fan. The Red Sox were my team as a kid. Came here, expected the Pirates to do well. It took a little while, but that night, the energy, the emotion. I mean, nobody sat down. Everybody wearing black. Obviously, Cueto dropping the ball and then the Russell Martin home run. I've never felt that kind of atmosphere at a football game, a hockey game. I always tell people, look, if the Pirates ever do win the World Series, it'll be great. I don't think it will be like that night because that was a once in a lifetime event. For me, that was the greatest sporting event I've ever been to and ever covered.
That's all I got.
All right,
No.
my
It's doing pretty
Yeah.
well. I've had a chance to hear everything.
Yeah.
It sounds
yeah.
like it's going well. Do
Yeah.
you guys enjoy doing hockey on the radio?
This is
TV,
fun, but
or
this is
TV?
this is a first for me. This is my first game here, so
What do you think so far?
I think it's awesome. The Forge are playing well, and like you said, you can get some chances here moving forward.
Mhm. The cool thing about hockey on the radio, I did on the radio for a couple of years in college at Ohio University. It's almost like one big run-on sentence.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You never
Yeah.
really
Right.
pause at all. You're just from player to player to player to player, and it's just so much fun. It's so much energy and excitement. And that's why I love. I miss doing play-by-play, and I'm very jealous of you guys. You get to do that. But hey, it's been fun for me to come here and just watch and see these guys after you've practiced with them, to watch them in action, and your heart, you start to pull for them because you know them and you know
Right.
what they go through to make this happen.
Well, we appreciate you coming on here. It's great to have local celebrities come out here, be a part of the team. Hey, the offer still stands. If you want to get into a game,
I'm a little older than most of the players, and I've learned when even the leagues I play in, like when the puck's in the corner, I'm like, you guys go have at it. I'm okay. I'll keep my day job. But guys, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thanks a
absolutely.
lot, Andrew.
It's
Thank
been a
you.
pleasure. Thank
Andrew
you.
Stocky,
Thank
ladies
you.
and gentlemen. We'll be back with the second period of Mobsters and Forge just after this.
Thanks again.
Second period of Mobsters and Forge back at it here at Brady's Run Ice Arena. Score 3-1 in favor of Toledo. But Iron City having a power play for the next 12 seconds. Anthony, what do you think here? It's got to be some quick work from the Forge here.
Yeah, even if you don't get a goal on the power play, you gotta at least get some momentum going in your favor heading into the start of the second period here. You're getting outshot 24-10 after the first. That's gotta be tilted just a little bit. Hopefully the ice is kind of tilted more towards this side this period, being the right side.
Mancini and Watson, two defenders, are going to play on the wings here. And the two forwards, Keller and Cunningham, are going to sprint right off the draw. Will it work? Keller coming in, puts it towards the back of the net, wanting to go in front of Cunningham. 3 seconds on the penalty. Watson over to Schmidt. Penalty expired. Shot comes in. They score. Kurt Schmidt from the top puts one through, makes it 3-2. It won't be a power play goal, but it is still one regardless in the first stages of the second.
You mentioned quick work, Caden, and it wasn't quite on the power play, but it came 13 seconds in, 12 seconds left on the power play and the man advantage there. Really good shot by Kurt Schmidt from the point. You mentioned that set play right off the faceoff. That was interesting, and it worked.
That one for Bob Schmidt right there. As they throw the puck into the bench, the token to remember the special moment here for the captain of Iron City. The assist going to Watson and Keller on the back end to make this a 3-2 game. Schmidt will return the favor by giving a fan an appreciation of his gratitude. And they'll talk about it. They thought maybe they'd give him a delay of game, but they'll say no to that, and they'll stay 5-on-5.
You already have one delay game at that end of the ice. But fortunately, that one did deflect out of play, like the one that Mahalik sent out in the first.
That's what Toledo's arguing right now. They're saying that one I thought was a little bit more clear of not hitting the glass than what Mahalik did.
I'm going to say there weren't really any defenders around to tip it out of play, so it must have hit off the top of the glass, at least deemed by the referees.
So the official reading of that goal, while we talk things over here, Schmidt, his 5th of the year from Hans Watson, his first point as a member of the Forge, as well as Michael Keller. Even strength goal by your time. Williams against Schmidt, face-off win by Williams to the point. Way winds up shot through traffic, goes wide. Penal sends this one behind the net. Mancini there puts it onto the hash and sent down by Way. Myers around for Mancini. Flips this one down ice to Cunningham. Gets muscled off the puck, leaves it for Schmidt. Forge have to get back on sides. Raska lines up Cunningham, and the Mobsters feeling the pressure. Take this one down ice. It's Denman. Elects the shot, squeaks through Soltez, and they score. It's 4-2 as Jade Denman collects his 2nd of the game.
It was kind of a nonchalant shot there. It looked like it was going right into the pads of Soltez, and Denman was able to squeak one through. I think Soltez himself was caught off guard by that shot.
2 goals for the Forge and 2 quick answers from Toledo. Raska gets the lone assist. It's Denman's 2nd of the game, 7th of the season, assisted by Raska. 3 goals on the weekend for number 98 in purple and white.
That's impressive.
Some of these players having some career games against Zion City in their 4th matchup against them this season, as Soltez will make that save and cover up here at 18:51.
Yeah, and Denman, you can see exactly why he does it. He had all that speed coming down the wing. It was a little bit of a quick release. Was able to just squeak it right through the 5-hole. Soltez.
Bolu wins it forward off the face-off. And the first continued his point streak to 8 games. This will go through everybody in icing as Bolu wanted Knobloch to chase that down. He did have a chance to negate that icing.
Yeah, you mentioned it right after the goal. It was a quick response from Toledo, just like they did the first time Iron City scored. You'd like to see that lead kind of stand up for more than a couple minutes, more than a couple shifts. So now Iron City has a little bit of work to do the last 40 or so minutes.
Draw Bolu. Plays it out to Watson. Bolu recollects, gets it out of the zone, wanting Dixon. So it should be shoveled off along the blue line. One of the top defenders, Michael Jordan, not in the lineup for Iron City today, so a tall task for some of these guys like Mancini and Myers to take the place of one of the top scoring defensemen and overall two-way defenseman of this Forge roster. So the point is Duncan. Puts one across to Brown. Brown winds up a shot, trickles through. and cleaned up by Watson. Wolves to Knobloch, pushes it to center. Duncan gets it back on sides now as Toledo. Sends it in off the wall, perfectly executed, and Duncan will meet Schmidt into the corner. Out with it comes Denny Bolo. Turns it over up high to Ossenmacher. The give and go, Ossenmacher. Up for Kane and broken up by Watson. Has been all over the puck this shift. Brown loses it. Here's Dixon. Brings Bolu and Knobloch with him. Goes for the shot. That one just too high and ricochets around the boards all the way back into the Iron City end where Sartor tries to get around forward and is denied. Madrowski there to clean up. His shot as he gets pummeled by Bolu. Physicality really ramping up here in the second. Iron City can clear, teeter back, and resets at center. Cross for Way. Through the middle, all the way down it goes. On net, Soltez throws it up ice to Bolo. Through the middle off of Mobster's stick, and Way recollects in his own zone. Off the stick of Bolu to Zemansky. Moves up ice to Bolu, quickly over to Knobloch. Cross for Michael. Good to see him back on the ice after that block shot that took him out for the remainder of the first period. Michael leaves it over to Coulter. Out wide for Knobloch. Knobloch into the zone, winds up a shot. Glove save by Mahalik.
Yeah, that line with Coulter's gotten a lot of chances here in the last couple of shifts that they've had. Just looking to put one by Mahalik. It's going to be tough to put a third, put a fourth past them. They've already gotten two, more than they did yesterday.
Danny Michael playing very much out wide. Delosier lined up behind if the faceoff was won. Sent in by Iron City. Mahalik's going to come out to play it. Coulter's going to challenge, and they'll swing this behind his own net. Here's Myers. His shot is blocked on the clearing attempt. Mobsters bringing three up ice. Bounces off Radska's stick. Or Seferin, excuse me. Haley can send this one down low in front for Seferin and broken up by Michael. Back to the point, Pennell. Winds up a shot, hits off of the Mobster stick, and the Forge can clear. Will it be enough for an icing? It will. Delosier challenge. Almost thought they were going to wave that one off.
Yeah, that's where Toledo gets the advantage. You know, the fresh ice that was just cut during the period break. We're only 4 minutes in here, so that puck, and it was 10 minutes later, it wouldn't have made it all the way down.
Coulter on against Denman. Top unit out for Toledo. Off the icing. Myers. It's hit along the wall, moved it up to the point. Michael can slash this one to center. As Pennell and Coulter both couldn't get a reach on it, finally one does. And Pennell can collect for Toledo. Sends it to center, Mancini. Couldn't settle the puck. Sends it off the helmet of Haley. Forward for Raska. Draped all over by two Forge defenders. And knock him off the puck. Coulter sends this one the length of the ice. Pennell will slow up. That one will go on net. Don't think they intended to be perfectly played like that, but they will take it and go for the change. Myers quickly up to Schmidt. Top unit out now for Iron City. Cross for Cunningham. Pass behind him. Myers quickly up for Keller. Keller dangles his way in up high for Schmidt. Shot. A save by Mahalik. Keller takes us behind the net for Schmidt. Off the back of the foot of a monster defender, and Toledo can push to center. Here's Williams. Had a tally last night and a couple of goals in the first series between the two as Raska puts one on. And some shoving in front, and Soltez gets taken down, and Schmidt just trying to clean the Mobsters out of the blue paint.
Now, you were waiting to see some of that chippiness. Didn't really see it. Saw it a little bit towards the tail end of the first period, but definitely here in the first 5 minutes of the second, starting to see these two teams become a little bit more familiar with each other like they were yesterday.
But to see Soltez is all right. He just went over a little awkwardly. You never know with goaltenders, all the equipment they have on, if you just go down the wrong way.
Anything can happen.
Schmidt wins it to the wall. Ossenmacher collects it to Duncan at the point of shot and rolls wide. Here's Keller. Dances around one mobster, throws this into open space. That'll bank off the wall. Mahalik comes out to play. It feels the pressure from Cunningham and wraps this all the way around where he finds Bomey. High tower. Retreats back to Duncan. Pushes it into open space. Keller challenges but turns it over. Bomey works his way in down the right wall. Goes for the shot, rolls off Soltez's shoulder and wide. Duncan will wind up. That'll go all the way around and into the monster zone. A little too much mustard, as they like to say in the old NHL video games. Mahalik plays this behind the net. This will be banked forward all through Keller. And Toledo resets it through on blue line. Through the middle. Back to high tower. Shoots all the way back to Brown. Gives out wide to Duncan. Flipped up to Ossenmacher at center. Into the zone he comes. Ossenmacher tries to turn to his forehand. Knocked off by Hans Watson. The blue line Brown can keep it in. Oh, it took that off just by a little bit of inches there. And Toledo retouches back on sides. 13-20. Here in period 2. Shot from Dan Schmidt. Getting a piece of it was Mahalik. And off the high glass it goes. Bolu winds up in that one. Oh, the referee to duck out of the way of that one. This will go all the way down the ice, pass forward. He will slow up and icing on Toledo. Iron City, a couple of good chances there in the last couple seconds.
Yeah, Bolu had one kind of roll right to him in the slot. It wasn't really a flat puck, so he just kind of shanked it just a little bit and almost hit the referee over there in the corner. Probably got closer to the referee than he did the net, but some good chances for the Forge to boot.
Toledo with the face-off win, something they needed off of that draw. I'm going to send it up. Sartor. Back for Brown. Dangles through Dixon, works his way to the outside around Zemanski. Puts backhand on net and a save by Soltez. Dixon will airmail this one to center. Goes through Duncan, but has Brown in relief. Turns it over to Dixon. And denied at the blue line. A great play from Smith to muscle him off the puck. Here's Riker Kane in the corner. For Madrowski, back to the point to Duncan. Gets challenged by Knobloch. Mobsters stay on sides. Zemanski for Dixon. Moves it forward for Bolu. Pushes to the outside. Knobloch just ahead and offsides Iron City.
Yeah, Bolu made one more stick handle right near the blue line, and the far side forward just kind of broke that zone just a little bit too early, thinking Bolu was going to enter just a second earlier.
Coulter, Delosier, and Michael, the next unit on. So their ice time seemingly increasing as this game goes on, not fully relying on the top 2 units. Behind that, Toledo to take this one out wide. A dangle around Delosier. Way. Makes one more move in open space. Mancini pushes it up ice. Mancini has some room down the right wall. Elects the shot save. Mahalik uses the paddle to knock that one out of the air. Coulter turning. Sends it in the corner to Delosier. His shot on net save by Mahalik. Mancini gets roughed up with a high hit. As the Forge bench in agreement with my calls, I said high hit. They say high hit. Shot on net save. Soltez rebound is there and cleaned up. Delosier can clear. Here's Way. Walks at the blue line. Forge going for a couple of changes. Mancini over to Myers. It's slashed in by Denman. Full first line out for Toledo. Mancini spins away from Raska. Puts it into the corner. Myers collecting for Iron City. Goes for the clear, denied by Pennell. Pennell winds up a shot deflected in front. And Caleb Williams, second of the weekend, makes it 5-2 Toledo.
That was just a good play by Toledo. You mentioned some of those deflections. It's kind of similar to the first goal that Toledo had this afternoon. Just getting some traffic in front of the net, and Williams is the one that's able to tip it in.
Williams, his 15th of the year from Pennell. That was just a perfectly placed shot by Pennell, and Williams, great deflection. He made his 15th of the year. Had a goal last night, so his second of the weekend. Had a couple of goals in the first weekend of the series between these two. And staying hot to give his team a 3-goal lead. Here's Keller trying to get it right back. Gets tripped up. And Iron City will head to the Just One More Sports Bar and Grill power play as a tripping call.
Yeah, this is a pretty big power play for Iron City. If you're looking to get back into the game, you're down 3. It's about halfway through the second period. Keller just tries to work his way into the slot, gets tripped up. Iron City will have 2 minutes to try to get another goal on the board.
Austin Smith, the guilty party for Toledo. Number 19 in purple and white. They'll get the right personnel out. Cunningham, Schmidt, Zamansky, Watson, and Mancini. So Zamansky, as you all expect, will be the net front presence. Cunningham will be the one to take the face-off, as I think Schmidt, I'm not sure if it was a voluntary kick out or he got kicked out. Here's Watson off the draw, wins it over to Mancini, down to Schmidt. In the bunker, works his way up high, the shot, shoulder saved by Mahalik, that'll go into the netting.
Duncan's got his work cut out for him for Toledo. You know, you got Zamansky standing right there in front of the net. It's going to be advantageous if Iron City looks to get on the board here.
Tied up face-off. Cunningham will get to it first. Takes it to the top of the circle, looks to dangle through. Hightower denies him, goes right to Williams. Really good shorthanded as number 86, leaves this off for Hightower. Looks to dangle through, makes the move, and just couldn't pull the trigger. Did everything but deflect the shot. Schmidt turns the other way, has some speed. Schmidt, backhand, save Mahalik. Zamansky tries to get there, but covered up by Mahalik. 1:24 to go on the Smith penalty.
Those two forwards for Toledo and Williams and Hightower, those are two forwards you look to penalty kill. You know, they're two forwards with a lot of speed, and they're two forwards with a lot of skill. Almost had a shorthanded chance there.
Schmidt wins a draw to Cunningham, a miscue, and Mancini has to recollect beyond the zone. Iron City touches up. Cunningham couldn't get the entry. Has to swing this all the way back. Mancini into open territory. Played up and beautifully defended by Brown, who gives it off to Williams. Tries to split his way in. Watson takes it away. Sends it into the corner. Cunningham on his horse. Duncan gets to it first. Is it up for Brown? And Toledo can clear. High stick is just going to be let go. And now Toledo will take the shot. Williams on and stopped by Soltes. 40 seconds to go on the power play. Here's Kurt Schmidt. Takes us behind his own net. Same unit still on for Iron City. Zamansky pushes it out for Schmidt. Offsides the call. As Zamansky wants to argue. I think maybe a touch hair ahead, maybe.
Yeah, it was super close there on the far side. Zamansky just tried to enter the zone a little bit before that puck had fully crossed that blue line. And yeah, it was probably the right call from the referees, but it was super close regardless.
Second unit on for the next 30 seconds of this power play. Dixon walks it in to the point to Bolu. Back down low, into the corner, behind the net to Keller. Keller, waiting, looks for room, swings to Dixon, out high to Bolu. Back down low to Dixon, to Bolu once more. Sends it off the wall, has Myers. Myers waiting, over for Dixon, a shot, rolls off the back of the net. Knobloch, waiting, winds up shot, shoulder save, and back to even strength is Toledo. Myers pinned along the wall with Teeter. Gets some reinforcement in Dixon as well as Modrowski for Toledo. Iron City comes out with it. Toledo strips it right back. The tip forward, Bolu, defensively, will win the race. Up for Myers, leaves it off for Dixon. Dixon, hold it to the point. Wanted Keller. Toledo all over it. The bouncing puck, Knobloch can keep it in, stretching, and Toledo will pickpocket him the other way. It's Bomey. Reese Bomey for the shot right into the breadbasket, denied by Soltes. 7:54 here in period 2.
You just didn't get enough good chances, good looks, good open looks on that power play for Iron City. Knobloch had a couple of opportunities on that second unit, but now Iron City back here even with Toledo. Another goalie change. Mentioned a little bit earlier in the broadcast what would happen there, and it seems like Mahalik has been relieved.
So Mahalik gets his 32 minutes of work in. The next 28 will go to Tristan Steele. Gave up the only goal last night to Iron City in the final minute 30, and it came to Denny Bolo. Steele will have to get warm very quick here.
It's an interesting strategy, but it one that worked well yesterday. 31 of 32 saves Steele made yesterday's contest.
Kane and Schmidt on the faceoff. Be won back by Schmidt. Watson banks this off the glass, kept alive at the point by Pennell. That is blocked away by Schmidt. Diving effort, and can play that out of the zone. Off the glass, Schmidt reads it, tied up with Sartor. Plays it all the way back to Dan Schmidt. Both Schmidts on the ice. Way to make this not confusing for us.
Right.
Out comes Steele, leaves it off for Pennell. Pennell sends it all the way up ice to Ossenmacher. Works against Schmidt. Schmidt closes him off. His clearing attempts. And second one goes. Here's Kurt Schmidt now. And send it into the zone. Goes for the change. Steele leaves it off for Pennell. Sends it through the middle of the ice for Omenchensky. And cleared by Iron City forward to Benny Cunningham. Cunningham waits. Negates the check. Over for Stevens. His shot rolls wide of the net. Raska the other way. Has two already. Winds up. That one goes high over the net. Riker Kane collects it to the point to Pennell. Pennell down low. Had a chance for Omenchensky. Second chance denied by Soltes. Stevens pushes this one a little too wide for Gilbert Head Jr. Brown taps it to center. Taken away by Ford. Iron City was offsides. Ford could have had a nice little chance there. Here's Williams. Leaves it off for Brown. Iron City continues their change on the fly. Williams down the right wall. Sends it out for Raska. Has Denman. Down low to Raska. Raska works the top. Duncan. Down low. Tick, tack, and denied. Just wide of the net. Net comes off. And Soltes does make the save. Would have been a beautifully executed tic-tac-toe there.
Yeah, they had the tick, they had the tack, but they did not have the toe, and they didn't finish there for Toledo. Real good opportunity for the Mobsters. 6 minutes to go in the second period.
6-1 Toledo, looking to climb their way up the standings with another win today. Iron City in last place in the APHL since Flint's dismantled, and Vraska makes it look too easy. Hat trick goal makes it 6-2 Toledo.
Yeah, you can see all the reasons why Raska's been so successful here in the APHL and successful against Iron City. He gets himself into those spaces on the ice where he can put in pucks, and we mentioned scoring 5 against Iron City earlier in the year. Gets the hat trick today. Gordie Howe hat trick and the hat trick.
Yes. He does have an apple. Just needs to fight today to make it real. Combined weekend, yes. Today, we'll see. Raska, he wants 4. Tries to put it towards net. Soltes clears this one to center. Williams gets the lone assist on the goal, as he's had a nice number of points come his way. Myers over to Mancini. Flips it up towards Knobloch's vicinity. Duncan takes that away. Duncan to Williams. His shot saves Soltes. Knobloch plays this one out wide to Dixon to the middle to Bolu. Bolu over to Mancini on the entry. Goes for the high shot. Steele will hold on. 5:13 here to go in period 2.
Yeah, you can kind of see those forward tendencies for Mancini. The Forge have primarily used him on defense in this game, but has a lot of speed coming down that wing, so real effective offensive defenseman for the Forge.
This line out here, you can technically say is a 5-forward unit. All 5 can play that position. Of course, we said time and time again, Mancini and Myers, the ones that are back on D today, the Swiss Army knives of this hockey team. Denny Bolu, another one that could drop back there if needed. A turnover. Hightower to Bomi. 3-on-1. Shot comes in. Saved by Soltes. The IUP alum probably feeling pretty happy with his team clinching first place in the CHMA yesterday. I'm sure all the IUP alums are pretty happy. Hunter Knobloch on the ice today. Gavin Cummings and Dom Glowich, two of the assistant coaches that have played for the Forge. Congrats to them. So they're looking for their third straight CHMA title. That's an impressive feat for the IUP.
Yeah, good to see some of the local teams being so successful and those players from those leagues and those teams coming over to play in the AHL, whether it be for the Forge or another squad. Just good to see.
It hurts my heart a little as an RMU
Right.
soon-to-be alumni. Let's give credit to IUP.
Credit where credit's due at that
exactly.
point.
It makes me feel a little bit. RMU did clinch a playoff spot too, just not the number one seed. Upset Kent State yesterday. That's big for us. A couple RMU alumni spread throughout this lineup, including Ryan Dixon and Matt Delosier, another RMU alum. Here's Justin Way, a shot from the point, ricochets off Dan Schmidt. He's really feeling that. Might have got him in the area where there's no protection.
Hit him in a tough spot for sure.
A fellow Schmidt and Kurt tries to put that one forward. Keller bodies his man off the puck. Gets it to center, sends this one in. Justin Way plays this one around, turns it over to Cunningham. Behind the net for Kurt Schmidt. Around one in Cunningham. Bowlme's clearing attempt denied. Watson winds up a shot. That sails high over the net. Bounces, stays in the zone. Keller tries to dance around. Here come the Mobsters. Ossenmacher floats one towards the net. Hightower almost getting a piece of it. Gets over to Bowlme. Sends this one around the net. Ossenmacher gets away from Ford. Goes through the middle. Taken away by Bowler. Up ice to Knobloch. Knobloch sends it in. Into the far corner. Cunningham waiting. Around wanting Bolu. Also wanting a penalty call, none given. Here comes Madrowski. Stick save made by Soltas. Cunningham back in relief. Goes behind the net for Zemansky. Quickly up to Ford. Cross ice to Cunningham. Cunningham up ice with Bolu and Knobloch. Cunningham shot off the stick of Pennell and into the netting.
Yeah, that's a few times I mentioned earlier on in the broadcast, Pennell getting his stick in there on defense. Got a little bit of a reach, does Pennell, wearing the clear cage today.
I always love the helmet choices. Do you want to go full bucket? You want to go with the bird cage? You go the full bubble? And you see a little of everything in the APHL. A lot of guys for Iron City elect to go with the visor, and that's it. There's a couple guys, the most recent college grads, that still like to go with the full bird cage, as the ACHA rules say so. Here's a quick shot from Bolu that goes wide. What would you pick? Visor? Full bubble?
I'd probably go with the bubble if I were out here. The full bubble.
I like that. That's a good call. I couldn't do the visor. I feel like I'd get hit too many times.
Yeah, I was going to say, you'd have to go something that covers the full area. I don't want to lose any of these teeth.
Here's a shot from Zemansky, and he gets blocked away. Looking for his second goal of the year. As we said, got the first goal in the franchise history that came against Toledo. Myers over to Bowler. Up to Knobloch. 2-on-1 with Zemansky. Knobloch a shot. Puts one behind the net. Cleared by Toledo as we approach under 2 minutes to go in the second. 6-2 Mobsters. Bolu looks to change it. His shot block. Rolls to Dixon. Save by Steele. Second chance to Knobloch. All five Forge collapsing in front of that net. Through the middle, wanting Bolu. Myers takes it into the corner. Gets muscled off the puck. Mobsters play it underneath, and now we'll take it out of the zone. Good little stretch for Iron City. In front, wanting a man. Dixon there to clean it up. Sends it the length of the ice. Will it roll on net? Just wide. Icing. Iron City 113 here in the second.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed about the second period is it's been a lot looser than the first period was. At least the first 5 minutes of the second period, it looked tight, looked end-to-end action, and now there's chances at both ends, and more of them have fell in the way of the Mobsters.
73 seconds. Myers plays it toward the corner. Dixon gets his stick lifted behind the net. Toledo puts one on. Soltes saves. Second chance cleaned up by Myers. Stepping down is Teeter. Nestled by Dixon. Dixon cleans it out. Wanted knob block. Almost had a stretch play. Into the zone. Pass to Razka. Knobloch has a little trouble, leaves it for Mancini, cleans up to Dixon. He'll head to the bench off a deflection. Top line will finish this second period for Coach Weimersker. This one will go through the Mobsters. Icing is a no as we approach 30 seconds in the period. Mancini looks for open room, turns it over to Williams. Williams, the top of the right circle, goes for the shot, is blocked by Schmidt. Second chance blocked by Cunningham. Ford trying to push that, stays in the Mobster zone way, steps up a shot high over the net. Keller, 10 seconds to go in the period, one final push. Keller, drop pass to Schmidt. Schmidt winds up a shot, blocker save, second chance goes out to the corner. Schmidt to the point, and fellow Schmidt puts that wide of the net, and that's how we end the second period. 6-2 Toledo. Shots favoring the Mobsters, 46-25.
Yeah, 3-1 after the first and a 6-2 score after the second. So identical scores after each period. It was good to see Iron City get on the board early in the second period, immediately following that power play off the momentum of the power play. But unfortunately, it was Toledo that came back and scored a goal just about a minute later, and they had really all the momentum from there on out.
Kurt Schmidt opened the scoring of the second from Watson and Keller, and then 3 consecutive from Toledo coming off the stick of Denman, Williams, and then a hat trick goal from Taylor Razka. Both teams head to the dressing room. We'll be back in about 12 minutes or so for the third period of Mobsters and Forge. Stay tuned. At the end of the second period, Nice. Does it feel good?
Well, considering everybody in there.
My grades in the way. Absolutely. Still, now it's fun.
I'm old, I gotta, and then I feel like I'm leaning forward, and I'm like, I'm probably blocking a.
Good, I promise.
It's honest, getting wild. Because when I run around, I'm that's what I'm saying, like,
Ready?
there's.
Third period of play from the Forge and Mobsters here at the Brady's Run Ice Arena. 20 minutes on the clock. 6-2 Toledo. It's not an impossible task here for Iron City to come back. They opened the second with an early goal. Let's see if they can do it in the third.
No, it's not an impossible task at all. You look at the previous 3 games that Iron City played against Toledo, and it was a pretty wide margin for each of them. So an 8-1 loss last night. You're at 6-2 right now. Not impossible at all.
12-3 and 5-1 were the scores in favor of the Mobsters in the last series these two played, and of course last night 8-1 in favor of the purple and white. Iron City still looking for their first win, and quickly thrown in Jay Denman on the deflection. His hat trick goal 15 seconds into period 3. It's 7-2 Toledo.
Yeah, we talked about it after Demon's second goal of the game back there in the second period, and you just see the things from him that make him so good. He's crashing that real hard there, able to get another deflection on another puck, put it in the back of the net.
His 4th goal of the weekend. Razka and Williams on the assist, as we've called a lot tonight. And 2 hat tricks for Toledo. Impressive in just 40 minutes and 15 seconds time. Smith back, moves it forward to Denman. Up now for Williams. Williams takes it into the zone, puts one towards net, taken away by Watson. Moves it out wide to Cunningham. Cunningham slaps this one down. Denman, rustled by Schmidt. The Mobsters maintain possession. Every goal Toledo has scored today, Anthony, has come from that first line.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me one bit. It's been a real powerful trio for this team in the last couple days.
Hat trick Razka, hat trick Denman, and then the only other goal coming from Caleb Williams to get them to this 7-2 lead here in period 3. I said earlier in the game, wow, there's a lot of depth scoring yesterday. You know, like everybody just kind of had one goal, no multi-goal scores, and today that changed drastically as the stars came to shine. Here's Ossenmacher, a shot. Soltesz makes a save. It squeaked through, but a little help from Zemansky prevents it going up to 8-2.
That's the recipe for a successful team, though, Caden. You know, you have that depth scoring one day, and then your stars, your guys that you know are going to contribute or expect to contribute, do it the very next day. It's a good recipe for success moving forward.
Bolu face-off win. Goes back to Zemansky. Dixon tied up with his man. Tries to play this along the wall. Zemansky behind for Ford. Over to Knobloch. Drops this back to Ford. Wrestles away. Zemansky comes out with it. To the corner for Ford. Tap to Bolu. Up for Knobloch. Chips it off the wall, and the referee gets his first block of the game in a big fashion for Toledo. Brody Duncan swings this one out wide over to Ossenmacher, plays it to the middle. Dixon gets a piece of it. Into the zone it rolls. Zemansky, D to Ford. Through the middle, getting a piece of it was Toledo. They'll stay in the zone. Hightower tries to dangle through. Zemansky denies him. Zemansky pushes this toward the Mobsters area. Quickly played out. Mancini at his own blue line. Tries to send it in. Mobsters play it quickly back up to Ossenmacher. Out wide, a shot from Madrowski. A pad save by Soltesz. Bolu tries to go through the middle of the ice. Kane takes that away. He'll quickly turn that over. So now Knobloch resets for Iron City, sends it in, and negates the icing. Iron City will change. Steele leaves it off behind his net. 4-way. Dangles around Danny Michael. Now around Delosier. Way works in. Way. Plays this one down low to Sartor. To the slot to Kane, winds up. Glove save. Soltesz and holds on.
Yeah, you've seen a lot of opportunities early on in this third period from the Mobsters. You know, before coming into the period, there's certainly no signs of them slowing down anytime soon.
Danny Michael hobbled his way over to the bench. Seems to be feeling those effects still from that block shot earlier in the game. Hopefully he can continue on, but just trying to muscle through block shots like that is always a hard task.
Yeah, you're already going with 11 forwards and 6 defensemen today for Iron City.
As the bench might continue to go shorter, Coulter plays it up for Delosier. He'll tap it into the zone. Way back for Toledo. Plays it up ice to Sartor. To Madrowski on the exit. Across center into the Mobsters' offensive zone. Madrowski holding. Puts one on into the breadbasket and a save there by Danny Soltes.
Yeah, Soltis has stayed strong, faced 52 shots so far in this one. Still 16 minutes to go, so plenty more time for Toledo to put some Soltez's way.
I said 60 plus was the number he had in the second game of the series back in November between these two. He's inching his way closer to that margin. Icing is waved off as Penno tried to buy one. Schmidt almost causes the turnover at center. Here's Omenchensky, a shot, saved by Soltes. Cunningham ends it along the boards. Now retreats back. Watson getting into a little bit of a jousting match with a fellow mobster. Has a chance there, and he takes a man hard into the wall. Soltes comes out to play it. Leaves it around for Kurt Schmidt. Clears this one down. Tries to hit Keller. Mobsters all over it. Watson stands up. Omenchensky on the blue line. Dan Schmidt in the corner wrestles away with it. Plays it behind the net. Dickerson. Around for Omenchensky. The point that Penno winds up, looks for the deflections, put wide. Cunningham through the middle, feeds Keller. Keller dangles into the zone, tries to put one on. Rebound is there and cleaned up by Toledo. No icing. Zemansky corralling this one. Sends it all the way down off the stick of a mobster. And Haley leaves it off for Penno. All the way back to the Iron City zone. Schmidt plays it across center. Raska there to take it away. Battles with Dixon. Dixon puts it into the far corner. Knobloch skates down to it. Puts it on. Stick save from Steele. Mobsters push to center. Denman out wide to Raska. Raska dangles in. Goes for the high shot. And a save by Soltes. Raska drives his way in around two Forge defenders. Plays it out wide to Williams. To the middle, wanting Denman. And stripped away by Knobloch. Bolu pushes it off to the corner. To center it goes. Top line stays out for Toledo. Raska dangles Zemansky. Mancini closes in on him off the puck. And those two joust in front of Soltes' crease. Vice Bolu racing down against Duncan. Duncan takes us all the way to the outside. Goes through the middle of the ice. Couldn't get around Dixon. Has reinforcement in Bomey. And goes Iron City's way. Corey Myers. Back for Mancini. Flipped forward, wanting Bolu. And no one wanted to chase after that puck. Springs Toledo free. Austin Macher pushes one wide of the net. Dixon plays at the center, and a beautiful move by Duncan, putting that between his legs. He showed off the skill yesterday for his only goal of the game and a couple of other chances. Just really good in open space, is number 67. Behind the net is Austin Macher. Tries to go in front. Eventually reaches Bomey. Turning shot deflected by Hightower Watt. 7 minutes gone here in the third. Dixie gloves it down, bangs it off the wall to center it rolls. Justin Wade will hold. Couple of changes for Iron City. Austin Macher drives in. Forge take that away from him. Corey Myers over to Knobloch. Knobloch across center into the zone he goes. Shot comes in, blocker save Steele. Gilbert Ed Jr. takes us into the corner. Turns up for Watson, a shot, and that one will sail all the way toward the exits in the far corner.
Finally get a whistle here in the third period. It's been about 4 or 5 minutes since the last whistle, which I believe was the seventh goal by Toledo. So fast moving action and a fast moving final period of play.
Face-off win, Coulter. Quickly over to Schmidt, deflected in front. Head tried to settle, and it rolls over top of the net. Delosier. Gets that taken away, and now up ice comes Toledo. Sartor and Hans Watson tied up. They've jousted a couple times in this third. You wonder how much will boil over between the two.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see moving forward throughout this third period. Two guys who have some history with each other. 12 minutes to go and a 5-goal difference between the two teams.
Hans Watson, West Virginia alum, played there in their Division I team. That pass will go through everyone. Delosier on his horse tries to race this down. Getting there first is Toledo. And Iron City will just send it into the zone. Sartor sends it up to Madrowski. Madrowski turns it over to Joe Coulter. He'll settle. Takes this one to center. Coulter sends it in and will head off for a change. Head Jr. lets that go through. Thought he had some reinforcements, and now Toledo corrals, and they'll take this up ice. They'll get some changes. Madrowski leaves for penalty. Fakes one move. Takes it to center and sauces this one in. It's gone to that point of the game for Toledo where the dump and chase play is probably going to be their best friend here for the next 11 minutes.
And why not for Toledo? You're already up 5 goals, 7-2 is the score. Dump and chase. Kill some time off the clock.
Head Jr. taps this for Schmidt. Schmidt racing down. Pennell beats him to it. Gets around Ford. And now some open area for him. Up to Seferin. Tapped forward to Romanchensky. Romanchensky shot. Blocker save. Rebound is there. And Head Jr. can clear this to the blue line. Pennell walks in. Soltes the save. Gets down and covers up. And Seferin goes right after Ford. And that's going to draw a crowd.
Yeah, you'd wonder when you'd have that first real boiling over moment. You've already seen it almost get to that point a little bit earlier on in the game, but finally there, Ford grabs a hold of Seferin, and nothing really comes of it. We'll see what happens in the final half of this third period.
The Toledo bench having some words for Adam Zanansky, who was a fan favorite in the Toledo crowd the last time we were there. They invite him to go to some of their favorite restaurants in Toledo. Maybe some good burger joints is what they were referring to. Is this when we played out of play here? 10:34 to go in the third period. Soltes hit the 50 save mark, up to 51 saves on his 58 shots that have come his way.
Just 2 away from number 60 on the shots on goal department.
Mancini off the draw gets tied up with Dickerson as the Toledo bench wanting a call there. Pennell at center. Circles around Keller. Sends this one in. Stick save there from Soltes. Mancini. Corrales. Plays it up ice, wanting Keller. He'll race this down. Icing is waved off. Keller turning. Sends this one around the wall. Cunningham. Down low. Pennell wrestles with Myers. Myers tries to kick it underneath. This one will stay all the way around the boards. Mancini. Down for Schmidt. To the middle to Cunningham. Cunningham. Blocker save by Steele. Pennell can settle and can clear. This one, enough for an icing. It's waved to all. Seferin beat that. They still call the icing.
Seferin was really close to beating that, and you can argue he probably beat the defenseman to the dots, who Mancini, he was out there for a little while, and Seferin was on his horse.
9:37, Iron City getting a little bit of a break possibly there. We'll get the offensive zone faceoff and the change. Kolu wins it back to Dan Schmidt. Down for Dixon. Gets that stripped away, and here comes Williams. The top unit's been so effective. But whistled offsides. It's Razka just a touch ahead.
Seems like every time this top line is out here for Toledo, it's just offensive zone time, more offensive zone time. Maybe it kicks back out to the neutral zone, but they're right back at it. You can get the speed with Williams, you get the shot with Razkan, you get a little bit of everything with Denman.
A goal and 4 assists for Williams. Denman and Rask, of course, with the hat tricks and a couple of apples their way as well. All multi-point games, 5 apiece at minimum for all of them. Iron City sends us in. Out comes Steele to play it. Goes right to the stick of Dixon. Dangles one, winds up a shot, and that rolls wide of the net. Watson plays it over toward the Forge bench. Turned over. Raska drives in. Raska's shot blocked there by Schmidt. And the second time he got a shot into an area that was pretty uncomfortable. Brown gets stood up by Dixon. As helping Bolu goes into the Mobster zone. Brown there in retreat. Across center. Brown takes this behind the net. Wrapped in front. Raska shot hits off of a Forge boot and wide. Morgan dangles at the blue line. Or Duncan, excuse me, down for Hightower. As a penalty coming up to Iron City, as Captain Kurt Schmidt very vocal from his bench and his frustration as Toledo has 6 men on the ice. They're pretty comfortable just passing this around and killing as much clock as they can. Ford can finally get to it, but not without about 30 seconds of just straight passing between Toledo.
It's one thing you have the advantage of if you're Toledo. You don't really need a goal at this stage in the game, so might as well kill some time off the clock before you get a 2-minute man advantage of your own.
Denny Bolu will take a seat for high sticking. So 2 minutes of power play time for the Mobsters. Haven't gotten one on the power play tonight. Had 2 last night. One from Denman and the other one coming from Pennell. Shots 59-27 in favor of the purple and white. Pass to the point, Austin Muck. Down to Sartor to the middle to Hightower. Ford can clear. This one will roll on net. Steele makes the save. Sends it up. Ice goes right to Kurt Schmidt. Schmidt takes this behind the net. And we'll send this all the way back to Zemansky. Passes with Mancini. Back to Zemansky. His passing attempt blocked. Turned over. Hightower to Bomi. A shot. Shoulder save by Soltez. Zemansky to clear. Kept alive. What an effort from Ossenmacher. Zemansky slaps this one across. Ossenmacher there holds the blue line. Kicks down low to Hightower. To the point to Madrowski. Winds up a shot. Flutters on net. And a save there from Soltez. 1:07 to go on the Bolu penalty.
Yeah, it almost looked like it was that close to going out. They're on the far side. Awesome Walker able to keep it in. Lead to another offensive scoring chance for Toledo.
Top power play unit comes on. That struck twice last night. Raska almost keeps it in. Coulter moves it up to Keller. Keller works to the outside, wants to dangle in. He'll battle with Duncan, takes him into the wall. Has Coulter. Coulter plays it over for Corey Myers. Myers can tap this into the corner. Behind the net, Duncan. Couldn't get it out. Keller diving, couldn't keep it in. Here's Denman up ice, 3-on-2 the other way. Denman leaves it for Williams, a shot. Save made, rebound is there, pops out and played with a glove, so it is called off, and Myers goes right after as Soltez's helmet pops off. And Raska will join in on the fun. On top of Myers, they're trying to dig him out of there as Myers not giving an inch. And it seems like Soltez is all right, which is the main concern. And gets a little help from Brody Duncan to get his helmet back.
Yeah, Soltez had to slide over quickly to try to keep Toledo from putting it in the net, and it seemed like he kind of banged off a post and collided with the Mobsters player who was trying to beat him to that near post.
So Denman and Myers will both take a seat. The question is their night's over? So I believe it from the words from the referee were someone's night is over. So the question is who, though? Is it Raska? Wow. Okay, so Taylor Raska's night's over.
Takes out one of the top scorers of this game and one of the top scorers against the Forge. In this fourth matchup, the two teams are playing against each other, not the last time they'll see each other. So Rascal will get another chance to score, pick up some points against Iron City.
There will be at least 4 more matchups between these two, of course. 2 being played here and 2 in the Team Toledo Ice House to actually close the season for Iron City. So they start their season Team Toledo, and then they will finish at Team Toledo until playoff time comes around and how the situation, who makes it in seeding and whatnot, because, of course, Flint's season came to an end as well as Hudson Valley before it even got started. We'll see how that all situates itself at the end of the day. As the referee trying to explain all the penalties here is Dan Schmidt acting as a captain. Looks like it'll be 4-on-4, as they told him and Caleb Williams.
Well,
Yeah, there's a lot to work out here, of course, with Raska gone, who serves that penalty, and how many guys for each side. Referee signaling 4-on-4, at least for now.
So it looks the Bolu penalty and the Raska penalties are be the off or the not the coincidentals, the ones that make this 4-on-4. So then Denman, Myers, coincidental roughs would probably be the call plus the fight, if you wouldn't even call that a fight.
It's more of a tussle on the ground over there on the
Yeah.
right side. More of a tussle.
all right, say there.
We'll get official word here in a moment from the PA announcer next to me, Mark Hollinger, on exactly as he's trying to still figure out everything from downstairs. But some 4-on-4 hockey for 30 seconds, and Iron City will have a power play. I don't think that's the end of the physicality here. I really don't. We saw last night 3 fights. Today, I guess you can count that as a half a fight.
Yeah,
But what will continue over the next 6 minutes? Pennell. Out wide to Williams. Down to Pennell. Puts that one towards the net. Soltez maybe getting a credit of a save on that. 7 seconds until Iron City's power play begins. Holding on to it is Watson. Out of the box comes Bolu, and a 1:25 power play for the Forge. Kurt Schmidt plays it back for Watson. Ossenmacher, the lone chaser for Toledo. Gives it out to Mancini. Mancini dangles his way into the zone. Quickly turned up ice by the Mobsters. Ossenmacher will slow his way to the puck here. Has a minute to go on the Raska penalty. Being served by one of his teammates. We can't see the box from our angles. We're not sure who. Williams' shot. Gets a piece of it. Was Ossenmacher. Mancini flips it to center. Williams waits patiently and will throws this right back in the Forge zone. Not much going through the first minute of this power play. Bolo through the middle to Zemansky. Swings out wide. Mancini, a shot. Glove saved by Steele. Zemansky parked in front with 34 seconds of a power play remaining.
Yeah, you'd like to get a little bit more traffic, a little bit more shot volume towards Steele, who hasn't really faced a whole lot since relieving Mahalik about halfway through that second period. Yeah, about 34 seconds here to do so.
If you look in the far corner, I'm not sure if it's on our screen or not, but Taylor Raska, helmet off, just kind of standing patiently watching the rest of the game in front of their dressing room. Good support from their captain, saying, I'm not leaving you guys empty-handed here. Still being the vocal leader, probably from that area as well. Mancini plays this behind the net for Schmidt. Zemansky gets his stick in, glove down, and played out by Toledo. 15 seconds of power play time. The stretch pass denied by Mancini. Mancini swings out for Kurt Schmidt on the entry. 7 seconds now. Schmidt across to Cunningham. Walks the blue line. Sends it down low for Schmidt. Cross ice. Shot comes in by Keller. Is wide. And the penalty killed by Toledo as Omenchensky steps onto the ice. Keller sends this behind the net for Schmidt. Up front for Cunningham. Cleared by Toledo. Mancini has to hustle back. Omenchensky into the corner. Moves it behind the net. Omenchensky turning. Puts one down behind the net. Zemansky Sends it along the bench. Turned over. Hightower. Up for Bomi, a shot in front, and Soltez makes the save. Anthony, you catch all that from the PK?
So Raska got the 10-minute misconduct, and there was two coincidental roughing minors, one against Myers and one against, I believe he said, Denman of Toledo. I think those are all the penalties. I think there were two more coincidentals, one against each side.
Okay, so regardless, all penalties accounted for.
Everything's cleared up.
Yes. Not sure if Myers' night is over or if Denman's will be as well. They're kind of just going to be stuck in the box. And maybe it's a 2-2. I'm not really sure how they're going to situate that one, if they're going to come back in this game or not. Bolu flips this toward the Forge bench. To center it goes. Here's Smith waiting and can send it back in. That one rolls past Soltez. Needs a couple more. He needs 4 more shots to get to that 60 save mark. I think it's a cool thing you're kind of secretly rooting for, but also secretly not at the same time here.
I don't think his body is secretly rooting for it. He's definitely going to feel a couple of those shots in the morning.
The difference is in the Toledo game where he had 60-plus saves, he played the night before, but he only played for about half the game. Today, coming in, I guess, cold. Didn't dress at all last night. Had Cody Silvas and then Baylor backing him up. As Ford got mixed up in the offensive zone. Down to the final 3 minutes. Ford clears this to center. Smith slaps this one in. Ford behind the net battles with Brody Duncan. Bounces to Mancini. To the corner to Bolo. Across center. Into the zone he comes. Bolo takes this behind the net. Swings it underneath for Knobloch. In front for Dixon. Dixon to the backhand. Saved by Steele getting across. Iron City finally solved Steele late yesterday. It was with under a minute 30 to go. Approaching that territory, they'll see if they can do it again. But now without a stretch pass forward for Toledo and a save by Soltez stretching across. Duncan trying to make magic once again. Teeter plays it to the corner. Shot comes in. Soltez the save. Duncan puts one on. Glove save Soltez, and he'll hold on. That puts him at 59 saves on the day on the 66 shots that came his way.
You know, if you're a goaltender with 59 saves on the day, I think it's pretty obvious to state that you've had a tough day and a busy day in net. But some of these saves he's had to make and some of the saves he has made, not been easy. They've been pretty difficult saves.
Williams tries to go for, or excuse me, Hightower tried to go for the Michigan there and just couldn't hold on to the puck. In later stages, usually the team down doesn't take too kindly as Zemansky gets dragged down to the ice, wanting a call, none given. Coulter plays up for Delozier, gets bodied off the puck. Out to Duncan. Duncan plays this one out wide to Williams. A lot of bodies falling in front of that net. Duncan to Williams, a shot saved by Soltez. Oh, an extra whack, and Delozier and Zemansky close in on Hightower.
Yeah, it was Hightower that got dumped by Zemansky, and I think Toledo was maybe possibly looking for a call just about 30 seconds ago or so, and then getting in there again, and Zemansky gives him an extra whack after the play, but nothing doing after that play.
Iron City will get the change. Soltez officially at the 60 save mark after that one. 69 seconds of game time remain. Keller gets tripped up, and a penalty coming up to Toledo. So for the next minute and 3 seconds, the Just One More Sports Bar and Grill power play will commence. Your reminder to watch the Super Bowl there if you're in the area for food and drinks at Just One More Sports Bar and Grill.
May not mean a whole lot as far as the scoreboard or the final score goes, but certainly getting a minute and 3 of power play time to potentially get a goal on the board before your next game next weekend against the Buffalo Tempest, another back-to-back in Buffalo. It'll be interesting to see what they draw.
The interesting thing here is Iron City calls a timeout.
Yeah, Iron City used their timeout, and they're going to draw something up with 63 seconds left here on the clock. Get something perfect, see if they can beat Steele again late in the game like they did last night.
Give Soltez a breather just in case he has to make a couple more stops. gets the right unit on the ice. That first line was out there to draw the penalty. So getting Keller and Schmidt and those guys at not full strength, but healthier, I guess, in terms of the legs.
Even a 30-second break will help these guys at least at this stage in the game.
63 seconds of power play time. Schmidt back for Cunningham. Wants to go to the point to Keller, sliding, couldn't keep it in. Back for Dan Schmidt, forward now to Benny Cunningham. Gets muscled off by Hightower. Schmidt to Zemansky. Forward for Keller, out of his stick. Toledo corrals and Trevor Pennell. Harassed by Zemansky. Will take it behind the net. Toledo milking the clock as much as they can. They'll bank this to center. Hightower taps forward for Williams. Down to 30 seconds in the game. Williams in front. Hightower tries to shoot, couldn't pull the trigger, and finally played in by Pennell. It's a shorthanded goal. It makes it 8-2 Toledo.
Yeah, and the first goal from the Mobsters, it didn't come from that top line. You see Raska sitting over there by the dressing room, and Demon was also in the box for a little bit. So getting some depth scoring, a penalty kill goal, a shorthanded goal, one that Toledo's been vying for all game long.
So Pennell, his 6th of the season from Williams and Hightower, and in a petty move by Toledo to take the timeout. They had some choice words of Iron City calling one. I was a little baffled by that as well.
Yeah, agreed.
So now Toledo just calls it for the fun of it, and we'll just make their way to center.
You know, they have one to
Drop
burn, so might as well use it with 30 seconds left. Like you mentioned, there's some pettiness behind there with Iron City calling one of their own just a couple of minutes ago.
It's like you can't blame them in that scenario.
Not at all. Not at all.
There's no way.
There's Bolu and Sefrin on the face-off. We thought maybe it talks of a scrap off the face-off. I think someone probably said no. Offsides is Iron City. Omenchensky plays it over for Duncan, who will flip this one into open space. Toledo will play this all the way back. Dixon doesn't want to go quietly. He will have to challenge Pennell. We'll just hold on as Bolu has one half attempt of a whack, and Toledo comes out with a sweep on the Forge, 8-2, and for the second straight game, putting up the Johnny Bonta number against Iron City.
Yeah, you take a look at those previous two matchups, like you mentioned, a 12-3 final and a 5-1 final before last night's 8-1 final. And there are some positives to take away for the Forge in this game. You know, they had their fair share of chances, the 69 shots against. I'm sure they'll tell you they should have maybe negated some of those chances, but a solid performance from the Forge overall, and something to go into next weekend in Buffalo.
So a couple of players decided not to do the handshake line for Toledo. Some came back out to do, including Mahalik and Sefer. It's a class act from a couple of them at least to stay out here, but some of them said, you know what, let's not do any more confrontation, let's head to the room. In that case, you can't blame them, but the sportsmanship aspect, at least some will stay on the ice.
They might have thought better of themselves. Maybe something would have transpired at some point or another if they would have gone through the line. So going to the dressing room, but for those that did come back out, like you mentioned, a class act from those players.
Final 8-2 Toledo. Danny Soltesz, 61 saves on the game. You just can't say enough good things about your goaltender.
Yeah, Soltesz played well. He played his heart out throughout the game. Over 60 saves, like you mentioned. You can't have over 60 saves as a goalie and say you had a bad game. I'm sure he could have told you maybe he would have stopped one of those through the 5-hole. Maybe could have stopped one of the deflections, but it was a great game. Not a good game, a great game from Danny Soltesz.
As on the other end, Tristan Steele gave up the lone goal yesterday, gets the partial shutout today. Matt Mahalik had the partial shutout yesterday, gave up the 2 goals today. So in the end, both goalies coming out with partial shutouts on the weekend. I mean, for Toledo, their goaltenders kept them in these games.
Yeah, their goaltenders kept them in those games for not only Toledo, but also a couple of good performances. Baylor last night for Iron City and Soltesz today. So it's a good weekend if you're a goaltender. If you're a forward, a top-line forward for Toledo, you had a great weekend yourself, and a couple of the other players that chipped in for Iron City, some good performances to go off of heading into next weekend.
Knobloch and Kurt Schmidt get the goals for the Forge. Hat tricks from Taylor Raska and Jay Denman. A goal from Caleb Williams, and then the late one there from Trevor Pennell. The final today, 8-2 in favor of the Mobsters. The Forge will be back in action next weekend at the Buffalo Tempest for their 2-game series. As they've been 0-4 in the season so far against them, they'll look to battle back there. Live stream will be on the Buffalo Tempest Facebook page, possibly on the Iron City YouTube. Not really sure if they're going to try or not up there. But thank you all for joining us on this Sunday afternoon. I'm Kate McCrory alongside me, Anthony DiFilippo. Make sure to tune in to Just One More Sports and Grill for your Super Bowl action. Thank you to our Power Play sponsor. Have a good Super Bowl Sunday, everybody. We'll see you in a couple weeks.